All kinds of characters showing up.
Yeah, he was coming to pick you up for spring break.
Key points. The key points, about 1,600 less in ISDs. We have two funding mechanisms for the state ISDs.
You guys get into brick and mortar, buddy.
I'm cruising out of Texas. I'm headed Louisiana way. You got to let the good times roll. They say they bon ton roulette. Here I come, Yvette. I'm on my way to Lafayette. I said the Blue Moon Saloon. Said Cedric Watson's out of sight. Gino Delafons is at the rock and roll tonight. Yeah, you right. Here I come, Yvette. I'm on my way to Lafayette. Here I come, Yvette. I'm on my way to Lafayette. I said I'm cruising out of Texas. I'm headed Louisiana way. Say now, you got to let the good times roll. They say les bon temps roulés. Okay. Here I come, Yvette. I'm on my way to Lafayette. On my way to Lafayette. I'm on my way to Lafayette.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get a bunch of this fired up. We're getting ready. We are live on YouTube. We're going to be going live on 1440 Keys and 98.7 FM shortly. We're going to roll around the table, make sure we got the microphones. Dale Rankin, how's it sounding?
Mic check, mic check, mic
Sound
check,
good?
mic check.
What's the word, Dotson? Will that work?
Did you get me? You hear me?
Sounds
It's going to be
good.
karaoke breaking out any minute, Dotson.
Exactly.
Good to go.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha. Sounds good. John, how you sounding over there?
Test, 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 test.
There it
All
is.
right.
Test, test.
And Tyler Thorson.
Test, test, test.
The man, the myth, the legend.
1, 2, 1, 2.
So we got 2 radio voices.
Yeah. All right, about to get this fired up on the radio. We're glad you're joining us on Island Moon Live on YouTube. And welcome to spring break.
Yeah, just the traffic is to Porter Edge has started. I saw it this morning. I was trying to, when I was coming down here earlier at, I guess, 7 o'clock, and the line of cars going north, man, was already backing up.
Well, we had the nice cool day for them today. Start off in the 50s, so that might slow things down a bit until
Well,
about noon.
We had I ran a picture this time in the moon of, they put up those temporary stoplights in Port A.
The skid marks
There's
are
skid
awesome.
marks all up and down 361.
And we are live. This is Island Moon Live on News Talk KUYS 1440 AM and 98.7 FM. KUYS Corpus Christi. You are on another issue, I guess we can call it edition issue. The issues of the paper. This
Yeah.
is Island Moon Live. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to all our radio friends out there. We are live and broadcasting from our Waterline studio.
It's our spring break edition.
Yes, right at the base of the JFK Causeway. We've got a lot to get to in a star-studded cast. Dale Rankin joining me, Dotson Lewis, Representative Todd Hunter. We've got John Reynolds, Tyler Thorson, and my name is Jacob Oggs. If you are driving to Port A, be careful and be aware. As just a quick PSA, there are temporary traffic lights that are up. That actually have already collected a few
Two of
sets of
them.
skid marks, right?
Yeah, one at the new access road in Port Aransas, and another, I believe, just south of that. The idea is to we'll talk. We've got the chief here. We'll get into it with the traffic officers, but I think the idea is to create some breaks in the traffic, give people a way to get in and out, so you don't have people taking risks.
Exactly.
But the elephant in the room, that Todd.
You mean me as a Republican?
Sort of.
So apparently, our governor is not all that happy with our water making ability. You just come back from Austin. What can you tell us?
Well, I'm just glad to be surrounded by you and the water right here.
Right.
There's water.
We're going to be drinking that pretty soon, I think.
Water everywhere, none to drink.
Dale had texted me, and so I came in last night so I could make a meeting and come on your show. So here's the first comment. I know the governor real well. He's supporting our area. You got to remember the question was asked at a press conference dealing with property taxes.
Right.
And it was in another town.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked the question. And I've been around all of them for a while. The message I heard, and I get a kick out of it, it's kind of like Dodson here. If he goes and says a quote, we get 11 interpretations of what Dodson says. So I've seen the clip. What I really heard the governor say is, all right, there's a water issue. Let's get a plan and get moving. I mean, that's the
Right.
real issue. And you know how we do. We take a negative or a positive, or we're taking you over, we're not. I can tell you, by coming in this morning, the governor's office is working on this. They are looking at, I've been asked about permits and
Yeah.
state, they're all looking at this. And I think that everybody's got it in the fast lane to try to do
Right.
something. And it's interesting, a couple of weeks ago we had the president here.
Right.
Then we had 2 weeks about what he said on it.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do for this edition. Let's create a rumor and see how long it goes around
Right.
town.
We're going to start. We have a new way to instantly convert salt water to drinking water just
That's
by
right.
putting it in a glass.
That's correct. But bottom line is this. The discourse is good, though.
Yeah.
We've elevated the issue. That's good. I have all the confidence that the state will try to help this area. I think that it's a motivation. Let's get moving and get something going, because we can't wait. And I'm not going to take sides on the council, because that just divides up the issue.
Right.
I believe all of them want to get water done, but you got to also remember, we as a community need to come forward together on some concepts. And I also think Dale and a bunch of you know this. I know that locally we're doing things. Sometimes, and it's nobody's fault, but what we're doing may not be getting communicated
Yeah.
up the ladder. And so I'll be doing that. But I can rest assured I'm not one of these that want to go hold all these press conferences. My view is let's get something done.
Well, what is the state's role ultimately? I mean, the news that came out of that, like you're saying, was the state's going to come in and take it over. I've never heard of, school districts, yes. I've never seen that happen what is the state's role here? Are they going to deal with the port, with the city? Will they bring funding? What happens next from the state side?
Well, generally what the state's role is to provide funding sources and then like permitting and agency assistance. That's, federal government does the same, the state does it. I don't know about the legality of it. I do know that under emergency orders and hurricanes,
Right.
you've had operations. I don't think this is a deal where we're saying the whole city's going to be operated. I think what it is you may have to use state resources to ignite and get it if you get a calendar
Yeah.
deadline where we got to do things by a certain amount of time, I actually think it could be constructive.
Right.
It's not hurting, but what we've done, which I get, the discourse has been there. It's kind of gotten inflamed. My view is, okay, I've been through this
Right.
many times.
If I hear, yeah.
Now let's get, what this will do is ignite a solution on federal, state, and it'll get some of our locals all together, not
Right.
just the council, everybody.
Well,
So
have you-
I look at it positive.
Have you communicated with the governor's office since
Yes.
that press conference?
Yes.
Did they see this coming?
Do you?
Did they see did they know the backlash from that was going to be
Well,
what it
I,
was?
I don't, it just kind of happened this week, and I think their view is, things happen, they're focused on trying to come up with what can they do to help the area. And it's not just us.
Right.
You know, you got Hayes County, you got Austin.
Sure.
Various areas of the state are going through a lot of the same
Right.
issues. We've just got a waterway, a port system. You just had the president highlight this whole zone. The governor highlights. Remember, the two people that came here after Harvey, Greg Abbott and President Trump, and they were here right after. My view is, I put all this information to the side. I can tell you, everybody's working on getting a solution. The public deserves some security, and they need to feel that something's being done.
Yeah.
And there's a plan. And my goal is, let's get all the confusion out. Here's a plan, let's go forward and get it done.
Well, that's been the issue. We haven't been able to do that.
If I hear one more person say far-field study, I'm going to mute their microphone. Oh,
Marford Nugan, yeah.
It goes exactly to your point, to what you're saying. You know, the public, through, you know, a great series of misinformation and not understanding the process of what's going on. I mean, everything has to get permitted through state agencies anyway. So having the state's help it's a necessity.
I think the governor, when he sort of set off a bomb there because he was frustrated
he
by
threw a skunk in the room.
right, and it's like Billy Sandifer used to do that. He'd walk into the door and drop a bomb on the table and walk out, and it's like, wait, you just said that if we have to, we'll take over the city. We're going to make sure these citizens have water. That's what scared everybody, and that's what's
Well, he
caused a big
certainly got
stink.
their attention at
Yes.
City Hall.
And here's the deal. I know the governor, and I don't have any authority to speak for him. I know he cares about this area. My view is, no matter what was said and done, the good thing is what you said. We've ignited the
Yeah.
process. Now, let's all come together, get it, even if we have 2 to 3 different concepts. And it's kind of a double phase. You kind of got to be able to help the curtailment issue by getting the water sources gathered.
Yeah.
And then you look at long range. So it's kind of a two-step. But if everything falls apart, do you know who we blame? Dodson Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've decided that's the.
He's our fallback.
Ever since that Pledge of Allegiance, when Trump showed up, it's been going to hell.
Is there a possibility, Todd, in the short term that there could be more water released upstream to get to Texana?
I don't know. I'll ask on that concept.
Because that seems like in the short term, that's a stopgap if it's doable.
And you've all hit the deal. The one thing we got to clarify from our area and to the state and federal, what are our resources we can rely on? And I think a lot, to complement our area and the city council, they've been doing some things. Sometimes the messaging isn't getting all up there. So my role is get the message and get the feedback. I think I can assure you the state and the governor's office is looking at
Right.
trying to help. I left Austin yesterday, and I can tell you they're working on stuff. But I've dealt with this before. Remember, we have this same deal on TWIA and insurance.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to get the ignition.
Right.
Because you'll get the resolution.
Well, maybe the state could help by supplying some front end loaders at City Hall, because with all the backing and filling that's going on down there, they're going to need some machinery. I thought it was funny. So the governor says we gave them $750 million and they squandered it. Then I see a soundbite with one of the city councilmen that says, well, they didn't give us that money. We borrowed it, but nobody contested that it was squandered, just that they didn't give it to us. Sort of stopped around that, and then they all started kind of turning on each other. There's a lot of finger pointing going on, but at the end of the day, we got to have a plan.
That's right. And I think that's the goal of everybody. And sometimes it takes an igniting to get there.
Yeah.
But the one thing I think everybody agrees, and all of you sitting here, we don't need to wait anymore.
I think
No
we're
more
just
waiting.
about out of that time. There was a story this week. I saw it in the Texas Tribune, but it came from a Texas Water Insider or one of those trade publications that quoted somebody from City Hall saying that it's instead of November, it's going to be June when we hit the tipping point, and then from there, you have 180 days before you got real
Exactly.
problems.
Exactly. And here's the other deal. I've dealt with these issues, all sorts. All right, we've now done kind of shooting at each other, which everybody says, oh, it's negative. It generally happens on
Yeah.
a contract. But now what we need to do is let's get a concrete plan from federal, state, and local. Let's work together on that. At least that is going to be my goal. And I'll be conferring with as many people I can. But I feel good on the state, that the state, through the resources they can, because
Right.
we're limited in certain ways, that you'll get help.
Well, they have some money they can bring to the table too. don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And would that flow then through the regional water provider, through the city, or would it go to the port, or would it go straight to Port Industries?
And it's a good question, which I don't know, but I think as long as we know we have that resource. The other deal, like you all brought up, the agencies, we got to get some permitting help too, so that you are not delayed. So
Yeah.
all these, I can tell you, are being looked at. We got good folks in there, but this always happens. You always get a little bit of fog, and you just got to clear
Yeah.
that fog and go on.
I've never seen, I wrote a column this week. I've never lived in a city where you had an existential water crisis that's coincidental with city elections. We're going to be running out of
and-
water at the same time
and
that we're
speaking-
electing city council members.
Speaking of the city, we're going to get the next steps on what's going to go on with this water condition when we return. Everybody hold fast. All
We're
right.
still on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are still on. And it says commercial break, but people watching on YouTube Live get to,
Hear us.
see how the sausage is made and
So
Realize we're
what's your
getting all
next
this
step, Todd? Who do you call? Do you work out of Austin primarily, or you a little hot, right? City, or
You turning a nice
Well-
golden brown, are you?
I'm going to stay state lane. I think my role is state. I need to do everything I can to get information here to state here. And I've got to spend the time and confirm. That's why I came in. I want to let everybody know things are moving. The other thing is we need to get what we have done clarified.
Right.
I mean, the poor public is only hearing one side.
Yeah.
But if things are happening, we all need to know. And
well, the
so-
question I get is just very simple from people: are we going to run out of water?
Right.
And the answer is, I don't know.
And
I mean,
my
don't think
belief
so.
Is in the end, you will have a plan. But I think where we are right now, we have to ignite it. And I think that's what's happening. It's good.
Yeah. Well, the city's got a thing on their council agenda this next week for Barney Davis. They're going to
Oh,
start
okay.
talking to Barney Davis, and I talked to Greg yesterday, and they're talking about there's a meeting there. It's going to basically end up at the board of the City Public Service, San Antonio. And I'd forgotten, but that plant they were the largest taxpayer in
Oh, yeah.
Flower Bluff, and now they're off the rolls, $2 million a year, and $1 million a year, I think it was, to the city, gone. And so now the question is, can they scale it up? But Greg's coming in later, and we'll ask him, but there's a 20-inch line, I believe he said, that goes out to the Gulf, but he said that's not going to be big enough.
We gotta come back to the regulator. There's a cubic bed.
And we are back. Welcome back to Island Moon Live. We are down here at our Waterline studio. with a big cast of characters today, and just to kind of get back to what you were talking about, Dale, during the break, the next steps for the city and what we're looking at now.
It sounds to me like you need to get everybody in the same room, right?
Yeah, I like the symbolism. We're in the Waterline studio
Yeah.
right here for today.
Yeah, and it's the water line listening line is open.
Well, first, what I'm going to do is what I've told you is get to work, get the communication. Sometimes the miscommunication causes
Yeah.
the biggest impediment. I can assure you that from the state side, you are having work. I can tell you, people are paying attention. I will be doing things this week and next to do what I can. And I want to deliver what the feedback is here to Austin. And we'll get there. I feel good that we'll get there.
Do you
Kind of
think-
like the song, I feel good.
Yeah.
Only problem is, only two of you knew where that song came from. But that
James Brown.
ages me.
Well, does the state taken any position on which plant, desal
No.
plant?
No, I think right now there's kind of, one, you got to look at the curtailment issue, because that's an issue
Yeah.
that you want to try to help resolve. Then you've got a long-range issue.
Yeah.
And so I think they're looking at ways to help achieve both. In my view, is you don't want to hurry it, and what I mean is hurry it, is you don't want to hurry a long range until you get the short range under control. So I think you're going to see some constructive stuff here pretty soon.
Has the state ever taken over a water system?
That I do not know.
I've never heard of it. Schools, yes, but a water system,
The only difference is, like we said earlier, is when you do a catastrophe, you do have sometimes proclamation executive that gives you
Right.
a certain time period. And again, I haven't looked at the legal side of it, but I think really the message is they want us to do it.
yeah.
And let's get it, and we'll be the assistants. But it's time for some of us to engage to help get the line of communication going, get the ball moving. And I think that's what everybody wants. Enough talking, it's time to start walking.
Well, he got the city council to call a special meeting, so I guess that's something. They were taking 2 weeks off, and now they're coming back to work.
Todd, do you think it would change at all? This state offered the $750 million for the Inner Harbor, and now they came back with this three-pronged thing. Like, well, how about we give you, we got the loan for this. Now we're going like, well, we actually have three different loans. One's for this other plant, one's for this. Is that does that have to be the Inner Harbor, or can we negotiate that, massage that into something else?
And it's a good question. It's been raised to me before. I don't know the financial, legal
With that money.
and that, but this is why I came here. You raised it. You've raised it, Dale. I'm going to take this stuff back to Austin.
Well, that came
Let's
through
find
the
out.
state water board, didn't it?
Yeah,
Water
it did,
Development
but
Board.
it's good questions. How much are you restricted? Do you have flexibility? And I get where you're
Well,
coming.
as you look down 5 years or so down the road, isn't there going to be a plant at Harbor Island at some point?
There's talk about it. That's what I put in is you've got to look at a short term and
Yeah.
then long term, so it's continuous. You just can't do a short term and forget everything.
Well, it looks like that might be where the state could be of a
Correct.
big help, because
And
that's going to be a big number, and it's also scalable.
That is correct. So
And-
I think all of it's on the table. And my hope to give you is, even though there may have been an igniting, I think the igniting may be moving us to the right direction.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to, I know everybody on the city council. I know everybody in the county. I know almost everybody in the state. I'm not going to criticize. I'm going to be here to help. But the one thing I want to do is energize this issue so that everybody knows a plan.
So I know San Antonio and Austin have had, not to our scale, but similar water issues that they're kind of addressing right now. Is that going to play into anything as well?
But you're seeing a big time
Yeah.
picture here.
That's where the
San
state comes
Antonio
in.
Aquifer.
Yeah.
You've got that has been going on for years. This Hayes County has been brought up. The Austin. We haven't even looked at the West Texas situation.
Right.
But it is a big deal for the state. And, I do put this out. I think in the next few weeks, you will see the House and the Senate reform their interim charges. And this will be where we start looking at the laws to pass next year. And I'm sure water will be a big issue. And you have a great chairman on the House side and the Senate side. They get it. They're going to try to help the whole state. And we're going to be there. We're going to get assisted. It's just sometimes you got to go through the turbulence to get clear skies.
Well, Corpus Christi accepted. What city is having the most critical water crisis right now besides us?
Well, believe it or not, if you talk to them, they all are.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's vying to who's because apparently, you know, if you look across the state, we haven't as the rain that we need in
Yeah.
all parts of the state.
Yeah.
Look at the poor Panhandle, been going through the wildfires even later this year than
Right.
usual. So I would say, I wouldn't say there's a first, second, third, fourth place. I'd say you've got a whole group that kind of have different levels of
Which
where
would,
they
which would,
need.
which is where the state could come in, because we
Correct.
could become a water exporter if we have a big enough
That is
plant.
correct.
Well, I
And-
thought that was always the goal, right?
I think. But can't Austin jump ahead of declared emergency and jump ahead of us for Lake Texana water? There's a rule along those lines.
And I
isn't
can't
there?
remember it, but a lot of that on the emergency, you're right, you got to look at the state
And that's
law.
where the governor might be able to preempt
Correct.
that if he chose
Correct.
to do that. What do you think will be the mechanism? You said you're going to get people together. You think we'll have some sort of a regional water authority that's going to be, that brings in the city, the state? I mean,
You almost have to bring in, for example, Coastal Bend and South Texas.
Yeah.
Because we're all connected. And as you know, a lot of the rivers here are getting from the hill country
Sure.
hooked into here.
Yeah.
I think what you're going to see from this is that water is no longer a little area. It is a big, big
Yeah.
zone. And, you know, it's kind of like the electric crisis we went through. We had to
Right.
reorganize. Maybe we need to
and we did that after the
Yes.
power went out in the middle of the winter.
Right. We're not going to have a water go out. But the positive is, I do think there's a lot of behind the scenes going that's good. And I'm going to try to help the whole group. And I know everybody has their ideas. The best ideas come from the people here.
Well, it seems to me like the question from the state, is there anything the state can do in the short term? Because the problem is about to get very
That's
acute.
right.
If there's anything, does the state have a role over the next 6 to 8 months in not a long-term plan, but keeping water coming out of the taps?
Yeah. I think what the state is looking at is kind of a two-step. Right now, what we call the immediate.
Right.
Which is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're an immediate in 30 days.
Right.
An immediate is a couple of years here. And then,
Right.
once you get that plan, you're kind of looking at another step. Okay, when you go beyond the 2 years, what is it you got? But you can't wait for 2 years to expire, then to visit it. So it's kind of a two-stepper. And I can tell you, they're looking at it, they're trying to get different ideas. But what we really need to do is communicate what we have been doing. Because I think you hear everything on social media, you hear everything through media. But one of the messages is, look at what we are doing, state and local. Get that information.
What's the
out.
role of the refineries and the refining industry in this? Or do they, I assume they're ringing the governor's phone.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they're impacted as well as the taxpayer ratepayer. And they need to be providing resources, which they are. What I see in Austin is a little different. I see in Austin, everybody understands there's issues, and I see more of a methodical
Yeah.
approach to doing things constructive.
Yeah.
And that involves the governor. He's involved, he's going to help. But the bottom line is, I think, as you've all indicated, it ignited this to make it front burner.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with
it's
that.
like I liken the governor to the parent in the front seat telling the kids in the back seat, "Don't make me stop this car." And that's kind of what I heard from the governor. Okay, enough of that. Let's do something.
And the final deal is, I know we've got a little angst local. All the council care about water. They're all trying to help.
Did we heard some? You talked about President Trump being here. There was a story made the rounds that Michael Cloud was on the airplane with him, and there was some discussion, maybe even some promises made. Did anything come out of that?
That I don't know. I kind of read it like you all did, but that's more on a federal basis.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Do the feds have a role?
Yeah, they have funding roles. They can
Right.
sure help us long range. They can provide it.
So and that's going to probably be the Harbor Island ultimately.
And that's one of
That's
the
the-
topics I heard.
That's the
If
white
the-
whale if we can ever get there.
If the money's there, we can
Yeah.
make it work. Yeah. And there's going to be a little more coming up. I know your time is limited. Todd, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Todd.
Always good to be here. and
taking
Thank
time.
you all.
We're going to jump to a quick commercial break. Everybody, hold fast.
Two hundred and 55 in El Paso.
All right.
They went to the, oh, heck.
Built up.
Well, I was talking.
In Nor- in,
This heater is killing me. You don't want it a little closer to y'all. You're
gonna be shirtless in a little bit.
I'm not cold at all. I was like, that was.
Lake up in New Mexico, do you remember that? We almost ran out. We were afraid we was gonna close it.
And then they have now the Cape Bailey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pay attention while my neck air melts.
And I know they've got one down in Brandon. So I think once we get organized.
How you doing, Chief? I noticed your little walk.
Sometimes.
Screw that. Yeah.
No, walk's getting better.
Now we go into the guy.
New discs put in.
That's what it was. Okay, I knew you.
Gives all our tourists.
I noticed the walk. I was going,
Yeah.
it's not from doing squats.
What's the word, Chief? Man, awesome.
Yeah, they blew mine out. They didn't fix it. I got the phone. Nothing was fixed. But I don't have a nerve broken in it.
Appreciate it, Todd. Thank you, sir.
Unless you're Carl.
Oh, yeah. I brought in my traffic lieutenant. I wanted him
Bring him in.
to speak a little bit.
Jump in.
Do we have enough mics for him, do you think? Both of us are-
Sure,
I thought
You can
that
take
was
one of
Alton,
these.
but Alton, it was, I noticed it was traffic.
Yeah.
You thought it was Alton?
I thought it was.
Here, you can take this one.
Yeah, take those
Yeah,
two, and we'll get to John.
Jump in.
We'll get it, John. We'll pester him all he wants in the next hour. Maybe we can turn that off for him too.
Watch out, we got somebody at the table that's armed.
You look like one of those burritos at Stripes. With that, and under that lamp.
So how we doing, okay? Everybody all right?
Well, we
Except for
haven't
water,
we haven't
apparently.
had the spring break invasion yet. I think it's just starting today, from what I saw.
It's not too bad, you know. We've evolved from, I was talking to my wife about back in late 80s and 90s when I first came on to PD. This was the place, you know, now it's Port A, and
Yeah,
we're much more family oriented here. It's
we had the
Yeah.
they put two temporary stop lights in.
On
At
361.
361, and it's got the people in Port A discombobulated, but they're completely. What the heck? But it's probably a good thing. I don't know. You guys may know. Did they bring in all those state trooper guys in Port A like they always
We
do?
bring them, yeah, we
Yeah.
reach out and they're here. Yeah, DPS is working it.
You don't see them that much on this end.
They're working on the 361. Yeah, and so are we. That's the big goal, right? So,
Yeah.
and we can talk about that, but you know, overarching goal is number one, no loss of life on 361.
Yeah.
We normally lose one or two people on that strip of road because it's dark, it's narrow, and there's no breakdown.
I saw the fire department boat going out yesterday. I don't know what they had going, but something was happening.
It was windy.
Yeah.
When it's windy, well, it was windy late, but boy, it was hot yesterday.
I know yesterday they had a couple of stranded surfboard.
Oh.
Some girls.
Yeah.
But some of the local surfboard guys went out there, or people
Yeah,
went out there and
yeah.
helped them out. So I think that's probably why.
Well, I was watching the boat come over the bridge, and I thought, the time they get to the beach,
Yeah, right.
I
So you
turned.
guys split up, 1440, is it better this way? You guys doing all right?
It is.
Yeah, that's good.
It's better for us. We got better signal, and
Oh, yeah.
we got more structure,
Oh,
Comes
yeah.
through better, yeah, it does. You're right about that. Yeah.
which we kind of need. Those are our brakes, right?
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah, I heard it,
It's
yeah.
digital there, huh? That's old school.
That's old
High-tech.
school right
Let you
there.
know where the
Yeah.
brakes are.
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
I like the. I like having the structure with the regular brakes. It gives us time to move people in and out. It's been a great move for us. And we started doing the YouTube, so we're catching some traction.
Yeah, you were doing, last time I was here, you were doing YouTube.
Yeah.
That's good thing.
It's been good. Got a lot of people, able to go back and listen and watch the show
That's
again.
the fun
and-
part. If you have people like,
That's where I watch
Ernie.
my news now. I don't really watch local. I go through YouTube and I watch the segments that I like.
Yeah.
That I'm interested.
That's how
Here
I
we go.
get my
Come back.
Iran news.
Welcome back to Island Moon Live. We are live at Doc's Seafood and Steaks at the Waterline Studio, right underneath here. We've got Officer Pena and Chief Markle from CCPD joining us. Good morning, guys. How's it feeling today?
Going good. That's Lieutenant Pena. He's one of the traffic supervisors out here, so I wanted to bring him with me. He can pick his brain about what we're doing. Most of our operations are.
Okay. And you're are y'all working with TxDOT as far as kind of policing everything between here and the area in Port A where there's a lot of people, or where are you mostly?
So we're on the whole island. So I have right now 5 motors working the island, and we have around 7 what we call crash cars. Those are the officers that are traffic officers in marked units.
Yeah.
So they're on the island, just being visible.
I saw a couple of visible ones at the base of the bridge this
bridge,
morning.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those
They're
people
working, yeah.
people
Yeah.
come down from San Antonio going 90 miles an hour, and they forget to slow down when they come off the bridge.
Yeah, and that's one of the problematic areas. So we monitor the intersections, see if there's any issues.
There's
that
a
we need
few
to
on
address.
Oso going over the cross there. There's a little like, oh, hi, how are
Yeah.
you?
Well, did they retime the lights at Commodore's during, or do you have someone out there during spring break?
So we do. We'll have some of the what we call the motor crimes detectives. They'll monitor the intersections.
So they'll sit there and just watch?
Yeah, they'll just watch it, and if there's an issue, then we'll address it.
Because they said that's where everybody's turning left.
Yeah, and from what I understand, those lights are set up. That they will cycle differently as
They're
there's more
adaptive.
traffic.
It's an adaptive software. Those lights will change and find the optimal
There's a
change times.
They have a
to-
camera there, don't they?
Yeah, there's a camera. And it's actually it's part of the traffic engineering bank. They can watch it from afar. They have an operation room.
So
where they can
somebody
see it.
downtown can switch the lights, the
They
timing
can,
on the lights.
but it has some programming that makes it adaptive and
Oh, okay.
the most efficient.
So what year is this that you've had that little substation in the American Bank parking lot?
Oh goodness! So this is my 11th year as the chief. It predates me. So
Yeah.
so it's probably 20 years, I bet, right?
At least.
At least 20 years. I
Yeah,
think,
they used to do it at the in front of the moon. They used the moon office a couple of years.
Well, we used
Yeah.
we used the county park office that
Yeah.
was down the ways for
Yeah.
a few years, but there with the American Bank, which it's changed, right? It's probably
Yeah.
what is it now?
They moved to what Mike Ellis used to call the monkey graveyard site
Yeah.
because Frenchie had a little petting zoo out there, and when his monkeys would die, he'd bury them out there in the parking lot of where the American Bank is now. So
Which means as they do the excavation for
Not Karankawa.
So in
Yes.
the future,
they're-
you see a
someone's
ghost of a
gonna find
monkey
it.
walking around, you'll know what's going on.
I think it's Prosperity Bank now, right? Did it move to Prosperity Bank?
Not yet, but it's,
Not
they,
yet,
they
that's
bought,
the
they
move,
bought them
yeah.
out.
So we're still there.
Chief,
Yeah.
what about, we have an issue with the cars, but the last couple of years we had fatalities in the golf carts. Well, we've had several, and that's,
We've had them where Port A's had them.
Port A,
Yeah.
yeah.
Port A's
Yes.
had them. Yeah, so that's
We don't have them that much here because you can only cross SPID.
correct.
Yeah.
Unless you always get one or two knuckleheads going down SPID on the shoulder, so you give them the horn.
there's another thing I noticed this morning on the way back from work. There's one of those monitor things over there at the Stripes on Old Brownsville. It's a trailer you park there.
Oh, yeah, for the cameras.
What's that for? You're just looking for drunk kids or what?
We set them up in high volume areas.
Yeah, that's a high volume area. Yeah.
Yeah, so high volume areas. We have a bank of TVs where we can monitor. We post people in there, and we can.
I've seen that in the HEB Plus before too. At
yeah,
times.
they actually have their own, just like Lowe's has their own. They pay for their own, but we pipe in video from all over the city and on our most high traffic areas, and to keep an eye on those things. What's not watched, goes awry.
Sure.
So we
For years, for a few years, the PD had four-wheelers out on the beach. Haven't seen those in the last few years because it was hard for them to get around, for one thing.
yeah, and they're a little dangerous, and
Yeah.
UTVs serve us better.
Yeah.
They're more utility in a UTV.
On Saturday afternoon, how many officers will there be on the Corpus Christi Gulf beaches?
Well, you'll have, as Mike said, you'll have 12 or more
12.
traffic, just traffic alone. Then you'll have rotating shifts of officers for the beach, and I've also assigned bicycles to the neighborhoods. I hope you've seen those.
No, I haven't,
So,
but that's
and
good.
with the instruction of, again, we should throw out a golf cart and UTV plug here. It's, feel free to drive those, but make sure you have a license and the emergency,
Right.
your equipment, your reflector and turn signal,
Right.
seatbelts. Told them to hold off on the registration side. I don't want
Yeah.
any administrative tickets. That's a whole
Right.
show in itself until everybody's got their act together with that. But so the bicycles are there and the officers are there. And then we've doubled up on our. Remember, we have one officer that's paid for through the hotel tax, right?
Right.
So
right.
we've doubled that for this period of time too. So you
Well,
have
that-
quite a bit of coverage down
Just
there.
show the flag. Just stay out there and let people know you're there.
Yeah, and it's for them. We want folks to know they're safe, and we're not pressing our thumb on anybody. We just want them to be happy and be safe, and know they
We
can bring
tend to
their
get
family here.
more, this end of the island, we tend to get more day trippers. People
do.
that drive in for the day and just go back. We don't see I know on my street, half of the houses are second homes. They fill up in spring break, but it's not people necessarily at the beach. They're fishing for the most part. But we do see, our neighborhoods do fill up because we have so many weekend homes. And this is when they're
Oh,
here.
yeah, for sure.
And I've seen another, speaking of the kind of registration and administrative side of everything, we see a big rise in e-bikes, all over the place. And I was talking with my wife a little while ago, and I think she's kind of mentioning, like, it's just going to take one or two really bad accidents for people to start having to come in and corral those in a little more.
Kind of a gray area, isn't it?
It is. The e-bikes, the little mini bikes that you see running around, it's a little harder to address, but it just takes presence.
Well, you see
And-
kids that you know are not of driving age, but they're driving on the streets with them in traffic lanes.
If they're on a bicycle, though, it's hard. Like, again,
Yeah.
you can't
They go a lot faster than a bicycle.
do it. I have one. It goes about 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little.
All I had was a Briggs and Stratton.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody had.
You could get it up to 12.
I was on a riding
On a
lawnmower.
downhill.
I had a top speed of 5 with the wind at my back,
Well, what do you think will be the future of that, of regulating those things? Like Og says, if sooner or later something will happen. Does that go to the council, I guess?
No, it'll be from the state.
State.
Remember your mini bikes are regulated with 49cc, Mike?
I believe so.
49 cc's and above that have to follow state regulations. So there's a conversion for watts, for electric things like
Okay.
that. So there's things that are in play now and that will have to progress. The world evolves faster than legislation, of course.
Right, and that's kind of what I see. Same thing happened with golf carts.
Sure,
When
yeah.
they first came in, and it took 2 or 3 years to start putting tags on those things because same type of thing where somebody would go tearing down through the middle of people and they see a golf cart, but there's no way to know who that golf cart was, so they put tags on them.
Yeah. Well, in that case, legislation
Yeah.
outperformed
Yeah.
the reality because they required the tag before there's the ability to distribute the tag.
And then,
Remember
then
that
you
for a
got into
couple
the
years, yeah.
off-road vehicles versus all-terrain vehicles and golf carts, but at some point, we'll have the island mobility plan in place, and we'll have paths for all of those things.
That would be great.
And that's the ultimate solution.
So in the meantime, our focus again is just safety. Watch your children. Don't let you have to have a driver's license for.
Have you talked with
college fees.
the Chris Hooper, on the boating thing? Because I know the PD's boats back at, not in service over downtown, and a lot of the spring breakers are here. You talk about people going around on boats or cars that are underage. There's, kids going crazy on ski-doos and things like that, and
Yeah, so-
even regular boats.
Yeah, most of that enforcement is done by Texas Parks and
Yeah.
Wildlife.
Okay, so
they,
look
they
them
have
in
their
there.
boats. They do their patrols and write citations just like everybody else.
I haven't seen the sheriff's boat since the fire. It escaped the fire by being in the shop, but I haven't seen it back. I don't know if it's back or not. I would think so for spring break. Because you've got jet skis out on the beach, don't you? It's for rescue, or is that the fire department?
Yeah, fire. We don't have jet skis. I think fire department might.
I
Our
see them
parks,
out there.
The lifeguards may, but no, we don't have jet skis.
So the main thing just is slow down when you're coming over the bridge, first of all, because we see the presence. And out on the beach, just don't do anything stupid.
Well, we published, if you go to islandmoon.com, you can see issue 1143 of the Island Moon, where you actually posted the rules for spring break.
Yes.
They're actual, and a lot of it you think is just kind of, well, everybody knows this, no glass
No
containers
beach
on the
fires.
beach. But there are a lot of people coming in from out of town who just aren't really familiar with how everything works. You know, a maximum speed limit of 15. You know, no canopies left overnight. You know, that's kind of the
That one
greatest
gets
hits of beach
violated a
rules.
lot.
Yeah.
You always got the Monday morning scavenger hunt after spring break. Go down the beach, you get some tents, you know, and pop-ups without the canopy, just the spiders.
Yeah.
But I think we're under a burn ban, aren't we?
We are, yes.
So there's no beach fires even on Gulf beaches at all.
No fires, no pallets, of course, those same old rules. No dogs on certain areas.
No power saws on Bob Hall Pier.
No power drills.
Power drill,
Power
yeah.
drills. Wow, that
It was a technical rod holder installation.
Yeah, it was
That was ridiculous.
keyhole saw.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you that's after a couple of weeks we need to get Troy or somebody on from the county because I'm sure there's some horror stories coming out of there.
Well, the deal was they said people would gripe if you didn't. You know, like, everything's there. Why don't you open it? It's like, well, we don't have any bathrooms. Well, we'll figure out something. We'll open up and they go like, where are the bathrooms? There's no rod holders. And they're like, we told you those are. But I think it was a great idea.
Well, you had to.
It's getting used like you cannot believe.
But
right
the
now.
pier got open before the primary election.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right, that was a big opening ceremony, wasn't it?
It was.
It was worth it though. That was a long process.
So the main thing is, again, the rules for the beach. Before we lose you guys, no beach fires at all,
No fires.
and I think no dogs north of Packery. Isn't that right? I think that's what we had.
Yeah,
And
I
s-
think
and then
that may
other-
be depending on the dog and the attitude of everybody involved. That may have a different.
There's different rules north
Yeah.
and south of the Packery that
There is.
I
but-
saw.
And there's a lot of space for your dogs if you want to take a dog. It's just not in those common areas that you would think.
And you've got, I noticed, I was over there yesterday, and you've got a emergency lane carved out over next to the dunes.
We do.
For, it used to be 3 lanes, one each direction, but you're not rerouting traffic during spring break this year.
No,
No,
right.
it is one way on the beach though, correct? Like,
Correct.
We're not
Yeah. Oh, it
two-way and
is?
it comes
Yes.
through back
Okay.
to
Is
it
Zon.
so coming-
Exit on Zon, yeah.
Coming in Zon and going north to Newport and out Newport only, right?
Yes.
So, okay, interesting. And you do have just a heads up for everybody who's out there and just you're a goon. You have officers posted up at the front of Zon Road, waving and saying hi to people as they come to the beach, being polite, right? So I know their seatbelt rules are still enforced, as well as. Other things, beverages and other prohibited items. So be ready to at least wave to a police officer when you're on your way out to the beach, and be nice, people.
Well, I think probably the most, other than the obvious traffic problems, it's just late in the afternoon, people get a little lubricated and things happen on the beach. That's really the trouble spot, isn't it?
Well, we have a little spillover from Port A.
Right.
So they get strict in the evenings.
Right.
And it forces that crowd down.
They shut them down at sundown, and so they
head
they
out.
go.
Yeah, so
Well-
we make sure we have some good impact in the evenings.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, I do want to ask you something real quick about drones. So we'll get some info on that as soon as we return. Everybody hold fast.
So what
They
tools
used
are
to
in
do a
y'all's
thing years ago
toolbox
when-
with these, I'll call them
during,
e-motorcycles out here. These kids
spring break when
flying.
Garrett
As you
was
know,
the police
they're
chief.
capable of some speeds. Now, they are electric.
Yeah.
And I see these kids, and I
Nice.
will give them
Yeah, I
credit
could tell the
'cause I'm-
difference when I cut that
motorcycle background.
that promo
Right.
piece. When I listened to it, I was like,
At least they
dang,
started putting
okay.
on some safety gear. But they're still out there doing
Okay,
wheelies
nice.
and riding on the wrong side of the road.
all the stuff we would have done if we had bikes when we were that age.
We did
Give me the
want-
Barry White
Yes.
voice. Give me the Barry White voice.
But we weren't doing
Tyler
it
does it.
down,
yeah.
the middle of the road
No.
in these busy neighborhoods.
No, no.
What tools are in the box for that? I mean, do
You
you
have your traffic
talk to
law.
them? Do you?
You have your traffic laws. You can't cite a 10-year-old. You can't.
No, I got it.
Can you get them for operating a vehicle on a street without a license?
Again, we can't cite a certain age. You got to be old enough to receive a
I mean,
citation.
and I know you
Huh.
have a lot of things to do.
Well, that seems like that would require legislation.
Public information,
We'd have to
All
follow
right,
the rules
90.
of bicycles.
I'm just afraid it's kind of.
Well, that's kind of how they're treated, but they go way faster than a
bicycle.
bicycle.
And bicyclists
school
don't follow the
speed
laws
zone
either.
on
They
SPID
Yeah.
run to a
going.
red light.
I mean, I've had kids pass me on Whitecap. I'm going the speed limit. They're passing me like I'm standing still, popping wheelies,
Yeah.
I
trying to
agree.
push each other off the bike while they're going down the
We
street.
don't, that's not us, that's traffic engineering.
Well,
We have
I
to
know,
do
I
studies.
understand. I understand. But
They got to learn about road rash somehow. Just
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20.
that's
Feels-
a bad way to
Feel
learn.
My palms and my hands warm from the asphalt.
Digging the gravel out.
Off 624, and,
Oh, yeah, like riding your skateboard, you got blisters on one foot.
you know, it's-
Yeah.
I had a buddy was riding, you know how you can sit there and ride at 10 speed like that
Yeah.
without using your hands? It was a cold day and this guy had his hands in his coat and he
It
just,
was just the same way.
I wasn't gifted as a kid.
That works until it doesn't.
Fortunate, I grew
Until you
up
hit a
as
pothole.
kid as well.
and his face hit the, yeah.
I learned the hard way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. That's 30.
You can talk, you know that, right? You're allowed to talk.
I turned off my phone and this went off. I didn't turn this one off.
I turned mine off too. It kept going off last week. Me and Dotson.
Well, I'll tell you, we need to change Whitecap speed limit to slower. 'cause all these
And
kids from the
and
side-
we're back. You are tuned in to Island Moon Live. We are here rocking at the Waterline. We've got Dale Rankin. We've got Dotson Lewis, Lieutenant Pena, Chief Markle with CCPD, Taylor Thorson, and my name is Jacob Oggs. We are glad you're here. Before we jumped off to the break, I was kind of queuing up. Wanted to get some info from the Chief and Lieutenant Pena on the drones you use. I know last year you were telling us that you have one up over the huge pool of people, also referred to as the Den of Sin.
That's Port A.
In Port A, and you're monitoring, huge crowds and all of that, right?
Yeah, we have several drones. We have about 34 drone teams now, 35 drone teams. Real nice, almost commercial grade drones. Plus, traffic has drones. We have drones that do reconstruction for traffic scenes.
Oh, wow.
You keep them up over the beach during spring break?
They're over the beach right now. I get drone footage every couple hours to see what the
Boy, that could
see what the
be
density
a
is.
game changer for traffic control, I would think.
So just 2 days ago, we had it's a big thing on the beach. They'll come from Port A, right? They'll set up in a circle. Have
Right.
you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
And then there'll be a big crowd. So
Yeah.
just a couple days ago, we threw a drone up, normal drone passing, looking down, and there's a couple kids in the middle selling dope. So we wait. They get in the vehicle and leave. We traffic stop them. They have drugs, a couple guns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's
It wasn't just Tyler breakdancing in the middle again.
no. So, Big
Well,
brother, yeah,
I
Big
think it was
brother up and down the
1979.
beach. But of course, the drones are incredibly useful. As far as law enforcement goes.
I could see, especially for traffic control on a high volume day like this. How long will you guys keep these additional patrols up? You go through next weekend?
Till next
This
weekend, yeah,
next
the
weekend?
22nd. So we added a weekend this year because there's a couple extended schools. So
Right.
Just
Sometimes
just to
it's
catch
2
them.
weekends, sometimes you get one big weekend.
That's
How,
correct.
does this generate, what does this do to your overtime pay budget? I guess, do you plan for this,
We do,
obviously?
yeah. It's not a
But-
surprise. This is every year. It's like the Buck Parade. These are built into our budget.
Yeah. They used to, years ago, Chief Garrett would always they would store up time so he didn't have to pay any overtime. And it was a source of contention because
Yeah, well,
you were working spring break and not really getting paid overtime for it.
can't do that any longer. So,
Yeah,
we-
okay.
yeah.
Collective bargaining, here we come.
FMLA and collective bargaining.
What happened to good old
those things,
PTO?
right?
Well, so I guess the thing we want to leave people with is when you come over the bridge, slow down
Slow down.
and
yeah.
don't do anything stupid when you get on the beach. Talk to the lifeguard, see what the water conditions and because every year you're going to have to pull somebody out of a riptide, right?
I think every day I get an alert for a drowning. It's not a real drowning. Thank
Right.
God it hasn't been this year, but somebody will get pulled out and they'll make their way back.
Yeah,
Or jump out on Bob Hope here.
Or they're missing. That's the other thing. Watch your kids,
right.
That's the hardest thing about people don't realize is that the kids, they hear the surf and they don't think about cars. And you always look behind a vehicle for little tiny feet because there'll be a beach ball roll out and they don't.
You see a beach ball stop because there's going to be a
There'll
kid
little
right behind
right
it.
behind or a dog.
Or they're playing in the water. Or maybe it's
Yeah.
a young teen or someone they're in the water and they'll end up 200 yards south.
Yeah.
Right? They'll get a drag or a pull, and
And you don't even
they'll get
realize
out, but
you're moving.
You don't realize they're there.
There was a girl
yeah.
who had her legs run over by someone who was leaving the beach. He had,
remember that.
threw his surfboard in the back of the truck and got out, and she had pulled in, didn't have four-wheel drive, so she was parked as everybody stacked up behind. She just put a towel down and was asleep on her beach towel right there. The guy couldn't see her, had no idea. Luckily, the sand was soft enough, the depression and the weight,
Yeah.
it just impressed her into the sand. Right now, she was shaken up, of course. Who wouldn't be?
Sure.
You know, and the guy was just losing it as well. The guy was driving the vehicle, but everybody made it out okay. And yeah, I think she and him both learned a very valuable lesson that day.
Given the interaction of pedestrians and traffic on the beach, you don't have very many MV-PED
No.
type accidents. Very, very seldom that happens.
Well, it's controlled right now, and you see Whitecap Beach, the tide's been pretty
Yeah.
high, so you only have room for one row of cars if you see that footage. And the emergency breakdown lane kind of partitions off very well.
Yeah.
So it creates some good structure
Do
for folks
your
to park.
do your patrol guys like working spring break?
They like the overtime, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. We don't have any trouble for
It's
folks
not
signing
bad
up.
duty, right?
Not at all. Not at all. Especially our crowd. It's changed tremendously in the
Yeah.
last 30-some years. So.
Yeah, that's something we were kind of talking about. You mentioned earlier, like the way spring break used to be in the late '80s,
The boa
early
constrictor
90s,
crowd.
and- yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had the boa constrictor crowd north of Packery, and they started with the pit bull ban. That didn't work, so they banned boa constrictors, and all dogs got thrown under that bus. But it's really changed the demographics of that crowd, probably about 10 or 12 years
Huge.
ago.
Well, if you go back far enough, remember Pat Benatar, I think, did a concert on the
Yeah.
beach, and
Yeah.
military used to recruit out there. There's be 50,
Yeah.
60,000 people
Yeah.
parked wherever they want. You know,
You need a robotic Belgian Malinois dog out
Yeah.
there. Just Lars or something like that just goes out, also saves
No, we
people,
don't-
kids.
We don't need that.
Well, where does the drone footage? Where is the live when you shoot drone footage? Where's the person watching that? Are they over behind American Bank?
They can be, or they can be on the beach. We tend to, well, we have to use line of sight, so they go down on one end of the beach and
And
run-
so they're
run the
talking
direction
to
they
the
go.
patrol guys on the ground, telling them there's a crowd here or traffic
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
There are different ways depending on the base station that you have. You can have other people all watching the same
Yeah.
video footage at the same time.
Yeah, we do. They'll send me
Yeah.
a link, and then they'll send me a code to punch in, and I can watch it live or whatever. we're
Yeah.
doing. Whatever
Well,
operation.
you know,
we're
in
doing.
some areas you don't need a four-wheel drive to get to on the beach, but if you need to get that new four-wheel drive, you need to go talk to Frank.
Talk to Frank.
at Discount Motor Company. He's right there
Wow,
off
we're
of
just thinking about that.
6601 SPID, right there between Turner's and the movie theater. You can just go to discountmotorcompany.com and see their blah, blah. Everything they have, all their inventory, their different cars and trucks. They've got fleet vehicles, they've got dualies, they've got four-wheel drives of every different kind. Go sell him your car. He'll pay $500 more than those other big box stores across the street. Go see Frank at Discount Motor Company and enjoy driving your new truck on the beach.
He's got. I drove by there the other day. He's got quite a lot out there. And
Yeah?
it's full of stuff. I didn't see a Humvee though.
Yeah, I guess those
I've
would
been
go
thinking
pretty
I
fast.
need a beach Humvee.
Dotson, you're going to buy a Humvee to roll around in?
No, I'm going to get me a bicycle.
Yeah,
I've got
Sorry.
one with small wheels. I'm going to get one with a big.
the fat ones.
You need to get you a
Yeah.
big trike there with a big basket and back so you
I'm
can
not
carry
that
your...
old yet.
Yeah, no. Another couple of years, maybe another 10.
So Dotson, what was your take on the? We went to the Trump rally, and Dotson crashed the president's Sportacan, by the way. That
Yeah,
was-
I got chewed out for that.
Secret
Thrown to the
Service
ground.
wasn't all that happy, but they lived with it.
They'll be all right.
What did you think of that experience, Dotson? What'd you come away with? When you,
Well, you know, I had meetings with him before when he was trying to get in the NFL.
yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote the Moon today with picture about him when he. Did
Yeah.
anybody tell you how old he was then? And it wasn't his picture on the Moon.
It was him.
Yeah, but it didn't look.
Didn't look like
yeah,
him.
okay.
Yeah. You got quite the red carpet treatment. We were.
Oh, they were nice, and yeah.
They let us back in the green room. We watched them set up all of the prompters. What I thought was interesting, they ran the Gettysburg Address over and over to test the prompter about 20 times.
Yeah, and I asked them if the people should be asked to stand or were they going to stand up. None of the Secret Service seemed to know, you know.
Right. Yeah,
So-
there was a lot. Well, but you got your steps in that day.
Oh, boy, I'm telling you, how many miles did you walk?
My magic ring told me I walked about 7 miles.
Well,
that
you know,
day.
they said they hadn't checked the guard carts, so you could use them, but they hadn't checked them yet, so they couldn't use
Well,
them.
they never let them inside the gate, so that's why
Supposedly.
Then finally we ran into Yashid David, and thank goodness he managed to get you a golf cart and get you out of there. Otherwise, you might still be walking.
Yeah, I don't run the mile like I used to.
Well, we've had a great opening hour here for our Island of the Moon Live. Dale Rankin, Dodson Lewis, Lieutenant Pena, Chief Markle, Tyler Thorson. My name is Jacob Oggs. We've got John Reynolds coming up shortly, and we will be back. We're going to leave you guys with a little bit of news and catch up with you shortly. Everybody have a good one and hold fast.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Question
Tyler, good to see you.
One more on privacy. So, say I'm, changing out my wet skivvies into some board shorts, and you guys got a drone there and see my shiny white ass.
Are you on the beach doing that?
Yeah.
That's your problem, man.
Okay, so it's okay. No, you know what I mean. Is it? I mean, how does that work with the privacy?
You have to be in a place where you have an expectation of privacy.
Okay, so
If you're in a public place, there's no expectation.
Yeah.
But if I'm
If you're in your backyard-
if I'm 10 miles down the beach or something like that,
Well, then you're by yourself. No, there's
I don't understand.
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You expect privacy. That's why.
Hey, man, grab a chair.
There he is.
yeah. Different.
How you doing? John in
If you're in
there.
the beach,
Good, you're not
Yeah, that's
working
it, yeah.
today?
You're not there by yourself.
That's why, like,
You're not
you
working
can't take
today?
pictures.
I am working
You just
today.
can't sell them.
So you're working now?
My lunch hour.
Like Stevie said.
Where you working?
I work for Dura.
He's gonna go help the city
You have to get permission for people to be extra or especially kids.
Man,
You what? What did he? Is he blaming me for?
I think he's gonna go help the
Hopefully you're
city
back and get
council
out.
with their water.
Oh, fine, I just
Yeah,
bolt it together, that's
I'd take a
all.
lot more than
I hear you.
take a whole army.
that was,
Huh?
I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like
San
that.
Antonio Brain
no.
Institute,
Governor
neurosurgeon,
just
I get out
came
of
down
town.
on
Nobody here.
Was that Hummel's brother over there?
No.
Hummel is a brother.
Well, he does up there.
But what I wanted to get John in, was I wanted to
Well,
talk
the VA did it, but they said, hey, get out of town. It's fine, get
once
out of
we
town.
hit the
My
point
VA doctor said that.
where we're picking out as much every day as we
Crazy,
can.
yeah.
It is. It's true.
What happens then? That's the question I get.
I'll let you know. Yeah, it depends on what the weather's doing and how traffic is out here.
Oh, you're in control of that. I tell people that all the time.
We'll get it sorted.
Take care, we'll see you later.
Thanks, man. Good, good. Thank you, guys.
Y'all stay safe out there.
I was thinking the other day, when I first started working in papers, all the radio stations had news units out working the
All right,
streets.
check
You don't
one.
see that anymore. But with the downsizing of the print media, man, it might make sense to bring that back.
Well, you're one of the few ones you can get actual hard copy, and I know people like actually having the newspaper in their hands. so they can read.
Yeah,
Digital's one thing, but that's different.
it is.
We learned that, we did our magazine, our digital magazine, we also did our sports magazine, our calendar truck, but they love the hard copy. They're going crazy with the hard copy.
Print is still
Crazy.
sexy.
They walked up over to Whataburger Field with about 20 of them before a game yesterday. He didn't even get inside to get them to the books to give away. They were
Really?
all gone.
Can't
Wow.
swat a fly with your cell phone.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys.
Outstanding. Thanks to, all right.
Yeah, they're gonna be recording now.
The guy who runs the Bob Hall here, the guy that works there for the county,
Scott Cross?
Yeah, he came in my office.
he wanted to meet with,
He came and got papers,
Okay,
and I'm gonna take him there
Okay,
today.
good, because he was really concerned.
I'd forgotten that, they've got that RV park over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I'd forgotten
I
it.
didn't know he didn't, so he talked to you, oh, that's good.
All right, y'all ready to fire this up?
Yeah.
Good question. You still wanna talk to me, my buddy from, the United
Yes, we'll
States?
get down to the end here.
How long we gotta stick around?
About a little before 1.
Pardon me?
A little before 1. Can we do that?
You want to sit down?
We have a
See
the
if we have to
rarest
go.
of, we have Canadian snowbirds.
Well,
Canadian
I am,
red.
but they got the other fellow from Minnesota.
We haven't.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't interviewed any winter Texans, so if you can, stick around.
We're kind of on, it'd be better next Thursday.
Okay. You'd rather be there.
I wasn't sure, or 11, anyways, that'll probably work out better.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I was sitting somewhere the other night, I was talking to Glenn, and man, you never see any winter Texans from Canada anymore. This guy at the next table goes,
No, they
"We're
got-
from Canada, there's like 6 of them.
All right.
First ones I've seen the whole year.
Segment 1. And welcome back. This is Island Moon Live on News Talk, KEYS 1440 AM, Corpus Christi, and 98.7 FM. We have got the crew down here at the Waterline, at our Waterline studio, I'd like to say. We've got Dale Rankin, Dotson Lewis. There's a Dan Grimsbow sighting as well, John Reynolds, Tyler Thorson, and my name is Jacob Oggs. We're stoked you're with us. We've been on, had an interesting experience talking about Corpus Christi's water woes, we'll call it, and the attention that it's getting from state and federal levels. We had Representative Todd Hunter joined us earlier in the show and kind of filled us in on a bunch of that and what's happening next. And we'll get Dan's official word here on it in a sec. But John, while we got you here, buddy, he's the chairman of the board at Seashore Charter Schools, and you work on motors occasionally.
Yep, my real job is working on engines, and I've had the pleasure to serve on the Island Foundation School Board for
How long have you been on there?
2013, so 13 years now.
Wow.
Good for you.
Right, so it just means I need to reevaluate my free time, I guess.
Right. Well,
Or I truly love the island, and I think it's the latter. I just
well,
truly believe in
what's
island.
give us for people who aren't familiar, what's the primary difference between a charter school and an independent school district?
Okay.
Funding is completely different. I know.
Right. So, first and foremost, the charter schools have a little more leadway and latitude with the way they educate students.
Curriculum.
The curriculum. It's not that we're totally separated. We still need to adhere to TEA standards. We still have all the same tests. We are still graded the same. One huge difference, it's a big topic right now where ISDs are being taken over by the state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charter schools have to reapply every 10 years. We can be shut down very quickly.
Okay.
It is not you get to have conservators come in and take care of whatever issues you might have.
Right.
They will shut your doors.
How many students do you have in Seashore schools now?
Currently, I believe we have about 413 serving.
Are they all from the island? Mostly
the
serving
majority serving K through 8th grade.
K through 8th grade, and they're do you have room for more?
Yes, we are. I believe our charter tells us that we can have up to 500.
Oh.
But we're comfortable with about another 30 to 40.
Right.
And how many staff and teachers do you have?
Trick question.
Okay.
I believe we have about 60
Okay.
on staff.
Do most of your teachers live on the island?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what I
the
thought.
majority.
Because most of the ones that I know that teach there do live on the island. That's the charter schools. I was going through our files the other day. Found a picture of the opening of the first facility. Well, I think it was an old Dairy Queen or something like that.
Correct.
And
yeah.
it's got all the people out there in the party. Looked like it was probably from late 90s maybe. When did the school start?
So you kind of, and this gets a little confusing, but the foundation, which is a 501c3, they operate the charter, which is granted by TEA in the state. We also operate a preschool, an early childhood development. The preschool is for profit, and just for clarification, the charter school is public. It
Yeah.
is at no cost. It is
saw
funded. It is funded by the state.
I saw a number. You get a dollar figure per head, $11,652,
Correct.
and ISD gets $13,273. So they get you get $1,600 less per student.
Correct. So we are approximately $1,600 less per student, times that by 413 students.
Right.
That is our deficit over an ISD in funding.
And you don't, and you, just to be clear, no property tax.
Correct.
You don't-
Our funding mechanisms come through the state, which fund a per pupil basis as well as a small percentage for facilities. Your traditional ISD has 4 funding mechanisms, 2 through the state, same
Right.
requirements, and your local tax dollars.
And they can float bonds.
Correct. So with an example, the last bond that just passed
Yeah.
for the local ISD, it doesn't affect us
Right.
at all. We have no bearing on it. We do not set tax rates.
What's the main discrepancy in the amount you get per child from the state? As opposed to like a public school.
Well, it's
Why do you get less?
Yeah.
Well,
the legislature in its wisdom.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not casting stones.
Yeah.
Charter schools are not looked on as favorably as ISDs. Although charter schools have been in existence for 30 years now. I
They
think.
really took a jump, though, what, about 10 or 15 years ago?
Yes.
They really, you saw a lot more of them.
Right.
For
They-
whatever reason. I don't know why.
Well, charters have proved that they are a great alternative for your child's education.
Sure.
The charter school out here on the island is a little different than your typical application for charter schools.
How so?
Most of them are set up in low
Oh.
income areas where the ISDs are not performing well, as an alternative.
gotcha.
Well, I think that's probably the root of a lot of the creation of them. Especially, it would either be because they're too remote, or because the ISDs in that area are underperforming so consistently. People are going. I know I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but we've seen a rise in homeschooled children recently as well, and a lot of it, I guess, is due to that. Correct.
Well, I talked to Colleen McIntyre, who was instrumental in
Right.
forming it, and I think some of the motivation out here was geographic, rather than have to drive.
Not driving over the bridge, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole philosophy of living on the island.
Yeah.
Avoid driving
and
over
so
the
your
bridge.
kid can take his electric bike to school, and you don't have to.
Right
there.
and to get back to your question, the foundation was formed in '94, and the first charter was granted in '96 by the state. That is.
There was
See-
actually a contested hearing out here on the island.
Correct.
Flower Bluff ISD didn't want a school out here.
Absolutely.
And they actually held a hearing, and the story that I got, I was not there, that they didn't even get through to the end of it. They basically dismissed the claim and granted the charter.
Correct. And Seashore Charter Schools out here is one of the first of 20 charter schools that were granted that year in
Really?
in '96.
I didn't
and,
know that.
And for historic purposes, Seashore is one of 3 that are still in existence out
Really?
of that original 20.
Wow.
And now you're at the charter schools are at the 30th generation. We are
Right.
a first generation school.
John, with my rudimentary math skills, you said you had 60 teachers and 400. That's like 7 kids per teacher. Is that about right?
A little off a little because we have administrative tasks, but we do have much smaller classrooms than your
That's a very good
traditional ISD.
ratio.
That is.
Generally speaking, about 15 kids per class.
And normally in a public school, you're probably looking at 25 to 30.
Correct.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah, of
One of the things I've noticed about the kids from the charter school, you see when you look at the top students in Flower Bluff ISD graduating, a lot of them came out of the Seashore charter schools every year.
They have.
You guys teach them how to do math. They could probably even teach us math.
We, because we're a charter, we're able to do things a little different. And although we do have a very robust sports
Yeah.
and some different programs, we concentrate on education.
Yeah.
We're here to educate the children.
The Penguins, right?
Right, and you're correct. There's a large percentage of our students that go to high school in Flower Bluff and Port Aransas that do very well. They are high achievers.
Do you have any idea what the split is in high school? How many kids here from Seashore go to Port Aransas? You keep track of that?
I believe it's about 75% go to Flower Bluff,
That's
the
what
other
I would
25 to Port A.
And what's the attraction to Port A? It's just closer to them, or it's
Port A, and I have no. I will make the statement. I have no major issues with any of our sister ISDs.
Yeah.
Port A does a good job. I think Port A has it more closely aligns with what Seashore is as far as their schools. It's just a smaller campus.
Yeah. Smaller town.
It's not huge.
Right. That makes sense.
That transition can be hard for some kiddos.
Sure. Well, and the only real thing that from the outside looking in, Port Aransas doesn't have a football team. There's some athletic stuff.
Correct, and either does Seashore. Seashore, we have volleyball, basketball, track.
Volleyball team always does really well.
They do, and we are generally the top 10% at competitions in the UIL. You
play other
very
charter
well.
schools?
We do.
Do they have classifications?
They do.
They do?
Yeah, we do very well. We do excellent with all the UIL academics that we participate in.
Are you in the TAPS?
I do not know, Dale.
No. Because I think those are private. I didn't know if it was charter schools as well.
But let's face it, we as a charter getting $1,600 less per student, we can't afford the turf on a football field.
Right.
Much less the field.
Well, speaking of that, there's grand opening at Flower Bluff baseball and softball fields. They just did $5 million renovation. They're having a thing on Thursday. It's first of the bond projects, I think, that got done, or at least one of the first.
And there's a few other changes coming, and a bunch of that we're going to get to as soon as we get back. Everybody hold fast.
How long's our break? One of those?
Nope. It's however long we want it to be, because we're recording this to go. So we can prep up. What do you guys want to hit on next segment?
Well, I think.
Is motorboating.
Yeah, we'll get. That's the next. Is there anything else you want to cover on charters?
Let's, if you don't mind, hit on fundraising with Whoop It Up coming up.
Okay.
Which is
I'll let you do
April
that.
the 11th.
I'll let you do
That's the
that.
big thing over there. What we said at Market 37, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Used to do it at Midnight Rodeo or Midnight Cowboy or whatever, or Whiskey River.
Right, way
For
back.
years.
One of the way back machine.
Yeah.
All right, ready to jump on?
Yeah.
All right, we are back. You are with us on Island Moon Live. Jumping in this, talking with John Reynolds about Seashore Charter School, talking about a bunch of other things going on within the community and Coastal Bend at large. And you guys have a big fundraiser coming up, right?
Yes, sir. So one of the ways we offset this deficit of $16,000 per student is we have to have fundraisers.
Yeah.
We do more with less money, but we still, at the end of the day, we have electricity to pay and,
Sure.
and water and facilities and all the good stuff that you have to educate
Right.
these students. So coming up is and let the audience know that we have a new fundraiser coordinator, Coco Ollinger. You might have heard of her.
Yeah.
So we're proud to have her on board, and our signature fundraiser, Whoop It Up, is coming up April the 11th.
April 11th.
Next month, it's going to be at Marker 37. It's going to be a great time.
I go to those every year.
It is a signature event. We raise lots of good money for these kids, and every single dime, unlike some foundations, every single dime goes back into these schools.
Right.
The foundation, I didn't touch on it too much, but the board is elected. We are all volunteers. We don't take any money.
Who elects the board?
So the board is elected by the board.
By the board.
And we are very particular and have gotten more so. I've been on the board for 13 years.
Wow.
We've got a great group, and we always try to get board members that enhance us.
Yeah.
So we've got an engineer, we've got a retired police officer that has been in that industry that helps us with safety and security a lot.
Right.
Law enforcement, we've got 2 board members that are in the education world. One at the college level, one at the high school level.
Do they all live out here probably, right?
They do. Both of them have excellent finance backgrounds. We've got.
Do you try to keep an endowment, or do you raise it as you go? Do you have a nest egg?
So we raise it as we go, but we do have a nest egg because unlike ISDs,
You can't raise taxes.
right. Unlike ISDs, if we run out of money, we close the doors.
Right.
We cannot be in a budget deficit of what some of these ISDs are year after year after year. I don't know how they stay
Yeah.
funded. I'm not in the ISD world.
Right.
But I know for a fact, because I'm a business owner, and this is
Right.
at the end of the day, the foundation holds the charter. If we run out of money, the doors get closed. So
Is that your biggest challenge as a board?
it is
funding?
It is because we have to compete with ISDs, which is fine.
Yeah.
But we have to pay fair wages, and we have to have a benefit package that is good enough to get highly qualified teachers.
I see a lot of the teachers out there that I know, and I don't know how the pay compares to other districts, but it almost seems like a labor of love. Like they like teaching there.
So more recently than not, we have, and some of this is thankful lead to some legislature changes. We've been able to get closer to ISD.
Yeah.
Now all ISDs are a little different based on their
Robin
tax
Hood.
rates.
You guys
and
don't have
how
Robin
that-
Hood
right,
'cause you
and
don't have
how-
taxes.
How all that goes.
Yeah.
But between the smaller class sizes for the educator, which is great for them.
Yeah.
They get to concentrate more on each individual student.
Right.
Having a smaller campus, I mean, we're family.
Well, you have to raise your own money for bricks and mortar for the most part. It seems like didn't the legislature a couple of sessions ago gave you some money for buildings?
Correct.
But it's not enough to cover the cost.
Right. That sheet of paper that I had, it was a little under $100 a student for brick and mortar. Now that has gone up a little bit this last legislative session, which I do not have the exact numbers on, but there's a big discrepancy.
Is that the main thing you need from legislators? Is help with buildings?
Yes, sir. I think it would be fair that if we're expected to compete at the same level and expected, and we expect ourselves to as any ISD, we are held accountable to all the same standards, if not higher, that we should be funded similarly.
You essentially have 3 clusters of buildings, right? On each side of it, one on each side of Encantada, and then the middle school, which is a big one.
Right. So as I stated earlier, back when the school was started in '96, it started with 15 students, and we've grown. We did a major remodel. I'm gonna get the year wrong. It was about 6-7 years ago now, over at the elementary school campus.
You added some classrooms and a playground, and yeah,
Correct. Yep.
has it been that long ago, man?
And
Time
right
flies.
now, that's one of the side note. One of the things our fundraising is going to go towards right now is we've got to replace our playground. The actual metal playground structure, it's just rusting.
Right.
It's congratulations, you live on the island.
Right. So again, Whoop It Up is what's the date?
It is the April 11th.
April
It's April 11th. If you go on our website, seashorecharterschools.com, there's information there. Stop by the schools. Right now is open enrollment, so you can't just pop in and put your kid in the school any time of the year necessarily. This is the time that you sign up to be considered to come to the schools, and it's this month. So the month of March.
Okay.
So come on by to the office, take a tour. We're glad to see you.
Now you mentioned that you are a private business owner.
I am.
And
So
you're like probably the most hard to get guy on the island when people, because you work on boat motors.
Correct. Well, and when it's hard to get to, you want them more, right? That's the philosophy.
Hanging
But,
over a sling with no hope if you lose a part, right?
I am very fortunate. I kind of did a little, and I won't go into too much background unless everybody wants to know it. But I moved to this island in '95, and have been here ever since. So
How did you get started working on motors?
So back in '95, and we're going to go the Wayback Machine a little bit further back after
The Evinrude Wayback Machine.
Well, after school, I was chief engineer on the ship.
Oh,
At the
okay.
ripe old age of 20 years old.
Gotcha.
Which took some doing.
Yeah.
I've always had a skill set for mechanical. And
What kind of ship?
A oil tanker.
Really?
Hmm. Yes, sir. So, long and short, got out of that. We could do 2 hours just on that part of it.
What route did you go?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went everywhere.
Somali pirates.
There were times, but born and raised San Antonio, jumped off the ship. You lived on a ship,
Right.
Had some money.
There you
Young man, came down to Port Aransas for spring break as a kid living in San Antonio. So let's go to Corpus.
Yeah.
Landed and said, you really don't have to work right this second.
Yeah.
And got a job. Maybe some of y'all remember it or have been here long enough, but a place called Island Marine out here. David Allred was his name and the owner. Through the Small Business Development Center, got me in contact with him and became the service manager of that, which was a Yamaha dealer.
Gotcha.
And dove off into the pleasure
There you are.
boat world. Been doing it ever since. Opened my own business in 2000 out here on the island, and I'm still here.
You
Thank my
should-
clients every day. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not all boats and bikinis, would you say?
Right. But you get to stay on the island.
I met my bride, married her in 2000, bought a house out here. Have had a kiddo in 05, went to the Seashore Charter Schools,
Yeah.
which is how I got involved with them.
Right.
Went through Flower Bluff. He's in college now.
Where's he going?
He's at Stephen F. Austin. He's a junior. He's doing excellent. And I'll brag on him just for a second for the audience. He was top 10% at Flower Bluff. And he's been on the presidents and deans list at Stephen F. Austin.
Nacogdoches, right?
The
that's awesome.
entire time. And we thank his education to Seashore and Flower Bluff and himself. He's worked hard for it. But
So,
it's been a great life.
What is, as somebody who's just had to replace a motor on the Packery Queen, what is the lifespan of a motor out here on the island? How long, if you buy a new motor, how long is it good for?
Totally depends on care and maintenance and flushing, but anything over about 15 years, you're on borrowed time.
What's the most important thing for maintaining it?
Flushing it and doing your normal maintenance.
We're going to get back to this here in a second with John Reynolds. We're talking boats. We're talking charter schools. We will see you in a second. Hold fast.
Aren't most of the motors made by the same company now? They're not?
No, you got to, and I could certainly expound on the air, but Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Daihatsu, Nissan, all Japan.
But
the same.
they all have the same different power?
They do, but the Japan motors, it's all the same mentality. So they're using the same subset of vendors, which is like Mitsubishi Electronics for the most part. Mikuni Fuel Systems. All these things are tried and true. So those motors just tend to work.
Yeah.
Now there's been evolutions, of course. I mean, Johnson,
what about the ocean runners?
Yeah, Johnson, Evinrude brand bankrupt out, really due to their FIC motor during the during the fuel injection race.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We have a friend that has, I have two friends that have that, and they had the thing on backwards so you
How
couldn't.
long we out for, Uggs?
Oh, we're good. We got time. If y'all need to.
Mercury's the only game in town really that's U.S. based. Although, like Honda, Depends on what they're thinking and what their version is. They do have a assembly plant here for their outboards in the U.S.
Are they mostly four-stroke?
Yes, yeah. EPA is taking care of that one.
You go back live. You go back live after
This is all recorded.
Yeah, we're recording this for right now. They're doing the news.
after the news, you go back.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
live. They'll play this.
they'll play
we
this.
see.
But everybody on Island Moon Live gets to see how the sausage is made.
Made live.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
kids
right.
playing the ring game down there.
That's all good. All right, where do we want to go once we get back?
How do we get a hold of him? And do you work on inboards and outboards and vulva pentas and all that kind of stuff and stern drives? Just outboards.
All right, outboard man.
Ready?
Welcome back to Island Moon Live. We are coming at you live from Doc Seafood and Steaks. We are downstairs at our Waterline studio right now. And it's nice because we're really out of the wind. I almost thought that I needed to put on a hat and went into the truck and grabbed one. And first one that I grabbed was from our good buddy Ted at Impact Marketing. If you need any kind of promotional things, any items, hats, safety gear, pens, pencils, he's even got little technology and everything that you can put your logo on. Go see them. They're down at 423 Schatzel Street downtown. Their number is 887-9300, or you can go to impactmarketingcc.com and see all of the different items that they have. They are your premier promotional products purveyor for the Coastal Bend. That's Ted at Impact Marketing. And we're talking with John Reynolds. We've got Dotson Lewis, Dale Rankin, Dane Grimspo, Tyler Thorson, and my name is Jacob Oggs. John is a bit of an outboard motor whisperer around here. And quite known for it. What is your least favorite motor to work on?
Oh, I always get these questions. The least favorite and the most favorite. And I would say right now with the generation of engines we have, they are all good. They are all reliable. Probably one of the more difficult ones to work on that have not regular maintenance, but maybe some more extensive maintenance, or the Mercuries, just because you have to remove a lot of cowlings and plastic parts to get access. Where some of the other brands are a little bit easier to pull them apart and take the skirt off, so to speak.
Right. If we have some friends out there listening who want to jump in and buy a motor, from the mechanic standpoint, what would you suggest? What's your usual recommendation?
You know, there again, you can't go wrong with anything you're going to buy today. My personal recommendation is you cannot go wrong with Suzuki or Yamaha.
Yep, that's usually what I hear.
I fully support and agree with American made.
Yeah.
And so there is nothing. Mercury has had some issues over their lifespan, as some other manufacturers have. But in today's world, there's nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with the Mercury power plant.
And you've seen a little evolution, I guess, over the past few years, where they started putting bigger and badder motors on, but you've got a 23-foot skiff with a 450 Merc racer on the back. I mean, it's...
Right. So, and things have shifted. I've been doing this 26 years on this island, and thankful. When I first started, it was I worked on everything. It was, and we had a different style of boat out here, or a larger class. Anyways, we had inboard outboards. We had outboards. We had some of the cabin cruiser type boats. And I even did some hull cleaning.
We were
back
talking
then.
about that in the office. You don't see many inboards or even inboard outboards anymore.
Correct, Dale.
Are they hard to work on, or skinny water around here?
I think what has shifted is with the technology and just these bigger horsepower outboards, that those type engines are fulfilling the class of boats that people want out here. I mean, and you're right, you hardly ever see an inboard outboard out here
I see
anymore.
boats going down the intercoastal here. It looks like the only thing in the water is the propeller.
Right, and
that's the way it should be.
And thank goodness it hasn't been a huge issue, but I will be honest. Some of these boats that are capable of 70 miles an hour, with individuals that aren't trained
Yeah.
to go 70 miles an hour.
Right.
I guess you kind of relate it to some of these e-bikes with these kids.
Right.
I'm very impressed there haven't been some more incidents with
Is
that.
there, so on the inboard, you're typically using like almost a car type motor, right? Excuse my ignorance, but it's basically.
You're correct. So, and back, 20 years ago, there were actually some players in the game. You had Chrysler making some. You had Volvo. You had Ford and GM, and it shifted pretty much to Mercury with GM power plants. Now they had and they still do have a marine division, but it is based off their car motors or truck motors, really, that they are converting over to the marine world.
And the bad part
for
about
that.
those were that if they were gasoline, you had to make sure you ran the blower because you
Right.
could blow up the. and
Boy,
that-
I hate
that-
when that happens.
Yeah, that's
Right,
not a
and,
good.
and one of the best things that happened to inboard outboards or even inboard gasoline motors was fuel injection. I mean, the carbureted ones there was always a significant chance of blowing up because of fumes.
Boy, that's not good. Fire and boats.
No, it does not mix.
So, who is out here? What you mentioned the type of boats. How has it changed over the years? Are people, what I see are center consoles.
Right, I
Almost
mean,
exclusively.
I would say your typical boats out here today are all of your fishing shallow water center consoles.
Yeah.
We have a fair amount of modified V boats that run a little deeper, and I get asked all the time how many, what's the perfect boat, and
Yeah.
it's the perfect boats for what you want to do. And
I always
hopefully
figure it's the one the motor starts.
You're
on.
right, and hopefully
Get you home.
you only want to do one thing, because if you want to fish really shallow, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It takes a particular type of flats boat, but a flats boat doesn't necessarily run real great over this chop that we have down the intercoastal. It gets a little rough.
You'll
Right.
knock some fillings out. If you're not
Right,
careful.
you want a modified V, which does better in the chop. It's
Right.
not going to run in 6 inches of water. So
I see I don't see them so much anymore, but I'd see motors with two props on them.
yes, yep.
As
So-
that's we're getting up into skinny water, right?
It is. I will relate it to the good Lord picking you up and pushing you forward with dual props. It's a very
They spin in opposite directions.
they
right?
do, and it's a
Like
heck
a
of-
Russian helicopter.
It is a heck of a way to propel anything. And dual props have been around since the 40s, I believe.
Why don't all boats have them?
Well, it's more expensive.
It's a lot more complex lower unit. right?
There is, yep, the lower units are a lot more complex. They are certainly more expensive to service, because you got kind of two of everything, two props,
Right.
the gears inside, all of that. But they do a very good job, and as engineering has bettered itself over the decades, they're getting more robust. I mean, an example, the Suzuki 350 with the double prop, pretty robust lower unit. Weighs about 140 pounds, but
Really?
it's a very robust unit, does a good job.
Yeah. That way it cuts through the oyster bed that you drive over a lot easier.
But Mercury,
Worm rock.
Mercury on their inboard
Serpentine.
outboards had dual props, back in the 70s.
I thought they had the dual props, the counter rotating props. I thought they had a torque issue where you had you couldn't have you had one for the port and one for the starboard side. Is that that way anymore?
No, that when they counter rotate, they offset each other.
So they don't do
So
the
they
torque
don't
thing.
they don't have
Yeah.
any engine torque for all practical purposes.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
and-
saw a guy. I was sitting here last night. Oggs and I were out here. Guy in a boat going right down the. He thought he was going down the intercoastal. Instead, he was in about a foot of water polishing his props, and the motor was roaring and the mud was flying. And then he got out of the skinny water and hit the deep water. Took off like a scalded cat.
We actually have some water in the bay now too, so it wasn't like before. Like we went a month like that where it was really low water. Now they got the water back in there, so things are scattered.
Well, when you get a call for a motor, what's the typical problem? Is it usually just the lower unit? That's what I hear.
and there again, it has shifted with the years, and used to outboard motors, like a lot of things, weren't necessarily the super reliable.
Yeah.
Today's outboard's pretty darn reliable.
Yeah.
I get a lot of calls for regular service. Nothing's wrong. Clients are taking care of their investment. As any of y'all that might
Because a
own
lot of it is quite the investment
right.
these days.
Anybody that
Ask the
that
boys
owns
at
a
Market
boat or has
37.
bought a new motor knows that these things are $20,000 to $35,000. You want to try to take care of it.
Yeah.
So lots of maintenance. Get a fair amount of integration calls with electronics.
Oh, yeah.
So, and good, bad, or indifferent, sometimes I think us as humans are a little get too big for our britches with
Yeah,
some of this stuff
right.
with integration. But you've got motors talking to controls, talking to displays, virtual switches on touchscreen displays. So
Right.
there's networks in these vessels. And so,
Right.
a fair
Well,
amount of calls with that.
we ran a story this time in the Moon from Bobby Kimbrell, who's a commercial fisherman over in the Bluffs in his 90s now, and he did a history of skiffs. And basically, the design for skiffs followed the improvement in motors. It's as the motors got better, the boats, the shapes of them changed, the size of them changed.
Ernie said like back in the day, 60 horsepower was a huge motor. It
What's
just
the
was.
biggest now? Probably 450 or.
Oh, there's a Mercury makes a 650 V12 that's purpose built. You have to have a purpose built boat for it, but boat manufacturers are doing that.
So a boat that'll handle a
650.
motor that big.
Correct, and the way it mounts. It actually, for an outboard, and I know I'm on the radio, but the motor doesn't physically turn port to starboard or steer. The lower unit is actually the part that
Oh,
turns.
there you go.
Another moving part.
Correct. So that's a unique engine. There's a motor brand 7 Marine that I think builds up to 1,050, give or take.
Wow. So you need about 4 of those, Tyler.
I've always heard that the outboards are so heavy. At what point does it, risk reward? Do you see those boats like the Border Patrol or Customs has, and they've got 4 of those sitting on the back and going, man, that's a lot of weight in back.
Yeah, I'll take your trips and raise you one.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to jump right back to that. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in just a moment. Stick around. All right.
So where are we?
Segment 3
We still. So we have 3 segments there.
of 4. I'm sending them
Okay.
to you right now. And hello to all of our friends
So we
watching
got-
on YouTube Live.
So we
We're on
have
Island Moon Live on
2
YouTube.
10-minute segments left.
1 9-minute 30
Okay.
is the last.
1 9-minute.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to touch on, Dotson?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay out of trouble.
Well, hey, so far so good. If you stay out of the president's loo, you'll be all right.
That's an awesome story.
Was there a golden urinal?
No, I think I'm gonna teach at A&M next semester instead of Del Mar. Del Mar and I are not we're having some disagreements over,
Hey, good for you.
I don't know if I wanna go.
Now they all know that.
They pay pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need the money.
Yeah, I really do.
Well, you need
Put
to
a
buy a
good
new.
word in for me.
You need to buy a new car, Dotson.
No, his is fine.
No.
All right, we're going to dive into this.
My boat's still sitting there.
Well, there's a man to talk to right there.
Yeah.
It's still sitting there from the last time that they got the water. It folded it out. And the motor went down quite down. They
All
finally
right.
took it to someplace to try to fix it. Never heard it much.
All right, let's bring this on back.
Bring it back.
All right. You were back with Island Moon Live. We are closing our last of our segments down here from the waterline, a beautiful Doc's Seafood and Steaks. It's been a fun, interesting show. We've been kind of all
Covered
over
a
the
lot of
place
ground today.
So
Yeah,
far.
a lot of water,
yes,
too.
Yes, Dale Rankin, Dotson Lewis, John Reynolds, Tyler Thorson. My name is Jacob Oggs. We are glad you're joining us. And well, you were just John, you were just mentioning of what a V12 650.
Correct.
What vessel do they put that on?
So, Mercury, like other motor manufacturers, and Mercury is owned by Brunswick Marine. They own a lot of different boat brands, and consequently, all of their boat brands under their umbrella get Mercury's.
Yeah.
And that's where they sell a lot of their products. So, I really honestly can't mention a brand. I think it is Sierra, or there are a couple of different boats that carry that engine specifically. Just like another example would be Mercury with, they call it a Zeus drive. A Zeus drive is actually mounted under the boat mid-engine. Think of it as a Volvo for your sailors, a Volvo sail drive.
Yeah.
And the Zeus drive will turn 360 degrees.
Yeah.
So you have
Zeus drive.
that is your rudder, that is everything, and it's a dual prop. And those have got to have very purpose-built boats that they're in.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of these boats, for these bigger, higher horsepower, specialized motors, they're built around them.
I know a lot of
they're built to take that.
The tugboats that I have, the gorgeous, super clean blue and white ones from Signet Maritime, who are great friends, by the way. They've got Rolls-Royce motors in them, and they're actually now building custom boats, custom vessels with Z drives that move on an azimuth as well. So they've got full 360. The other thing that you don't realize, people always think, oh, there's going to be one motor up front and then two in the back. What they're doing now, because they've got these, the ships are getting bigger and bigger, so they're constantly moving the biggest equipment in the world.
Right.
They've got two up front and one in the back now.
Right.
And so it's all interesting design.
Did
A lot
you
of these
just
are
go
all-
down to the valley for an LNG?
They did, yes. Signet brought in the first LNG vessel to the port of Brownsville, which was fun. So I was up in the morning, out super early, and I was talking to our buddy Jay Gardner about that. He's actually down there working right now, but he was saying, man, be careful, watch out for Now Guy. And sure enough, I'm on the way in,
Really?
and I'm driving. It's dark, and I'm taking kind of the back road to get down in there. And I look over, and about 8 to 9 foot up over the right side off the right side of the road is this huge goat head with these legs. And my first thought was, it's the devil. And no, it was
Chupacabra.
it was a Now Guy sitting there eating on the side of the road.
Really?
It was the craziest thing.
So they're
Yeah,
starting to import LNG, liquid natural gas, in the valley.
And there's even talk of bringing on board a refinery or something down there.
Yeah, they're talking about that. The president brought that up, and I talked to Jay earlier, and they're getting ready for it down there. They have desal.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Interesting.
So do you ever work? You don't ever work on any of the ships or anything anymore since you got out of that?
No, sir. No. On occasion, I make it down to the port or some of the refineries to work on some of their support vessels.
Yeah.
But typically, they are outboard driven.
Oh, okay.
And in today's world, so much has changed
Yeah.
with technology. I work on the major brands, and you have to have, software and the computer support to work on all these.
Right.
So-
if you're going to do it,
You have to be able to
correctly-
talk to it.
Correct, and it's all different softwares. It's not like automobiles where you have onboard diagnostics 1, 2, 3, whatever the version
Right.
is, that are kind of this universal plug and play system. Outboards, they're all proprietary to themselves, so they don't want to play with other outboard makers, and the same goes with the diesels, the newer diesels,
Right.
and any of that. So I love diesels. It was my core training, and I absolutely love them, but I'm realistic.
Outboard diesels?
There are some.
Yeah.
Yep, there are some. They're going to make a showing in the larger vessels. There's some in testing. I think the government's testing some. I think
So
Border Patrol's got some.
what's your favorite new bit of technology? I know they've got the side scan sonars, and a lot more of the offshore vessels have just highly complex radar systems.
It's all exciting. I really, as a personal boater, I love the forward looking, the flare, the radar imaging. I think that's a great safety device.
Yeah.
Great tool.
Well, can't you
for imaging?
You used to have a lot of complicated stuff for navigating, like in open water and stuff. You probably just use your phone or a computer now, right?
Well, you can, but with these integrated systems, it's as complicated as ever.
Is it?
Because they've all got proprietary technology that has to play with the right kind of
Right, and
Yeah,
a great
makes sense.
example, a personal example for me and what I see with a lot of clients now. I do not do a lot of electronics replacement. I've got enough work with outboards and repair, but a personal one with me is, I had a bigger boat and the radar went out, long and short. But the system was 6 years old, and congratulations, the manufacturer told me that they don't produce that radar any longer, and
Right.
the new one doesn't talk to the old system. Of
course not.
And
Is it made by Apple?
then all you have to do is replace your screens and your transducers and everything. No big deal. It's like, okay. eBay became popular in my life, searching for a pre-loved radar.
Right.
So,
It's like the computer system at a newspaper I worked at one time. After about a month, they said, well, the good news is the new system fails in twice the time as the old system.
right.
Well, and speaking of converting things and trying to make new use out of the old, a couple things I do want to get to as we're kind of wrapping this up was City Council considers Barney Davis Power Plant for desal.
Yeah, it's on their next city council agenda, and I talked to Greg Smith at Link yesterday. He's been on this show. He's been advocating for that for a long time, and it's really complicated because City Public Service in San Antonio, which is the city-owned utility, owns the power plant. So we have a power plant here owned by the city of San Antonio, who, by the way, also needs water. So they bought it they're trying to retire their coal-fired plants because they keep those as, you max out nuke, then you max out gas, then you go to coal, but it's wildly expensive because you have to keep coal on hand when you may not need it. They use it at peak. So they bought these plants. This one went in Laredo to try and retire their coal-fired plants is the idea. And they give 14% of their City Public Service gives 14% of its revenue to the city of San Antonio, like $600 million.
Yeah.
And so we're late to the game trying to get desal out of that plant. They came down here and bought it, took it off the tax rolls, and now we're sort of hand in hand. Our strategy is going to have to be to trade upstream water in Choke Canyon when there's water in Choke Canyon.
Exactly.
For what's going to happen at Barney Davis.
Maybe one of you guys can help me. I need a tube tester.
A tube tester?
Yeah.
Just go to 7-Eleven and they have a guy. Oh, no, that was a long time ago.
Because I still have 1,100 vacuum tubes in my first computer.
I don't know how to
Well, I
do
was thinking
that.
of radio or TV.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you could do is you get it powered up and then grab one side on each hand, and if it's hot, then you know it works.
Okay.
I bet you one of those electric companies down over off of Baldwin or someplace has
I'll
it.
go-
Those.
I'll
Remember,
go-
you used to go to
I'll go
a
to
hardware
Japan.
You go to a
store.
hardware store, you go to 7-Eleven, they'd have a thing where like, oh, I need a Gazenta tube.
You
I was
had
like,
a
oh,
tube
yeah.
tester, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had a great show down here. We're glad you guys joined
Go
us.
back to that, right?
Special thanks to all of our guests. Lieutenant Pena, Chief Markle, everybody, John, Dotson, yes.
Very quickly
Michael
before we go out, the Seashore Kids are going to have a booth at the Island Farmers Market a week from Thursday over at Whitecap, and they're going to be able to sell some of their artwork and Flower Bluff Kids as well. So next Thursday, Whitecap at 4 o'clock.
Sounds good. Just letting you know, this is Island Moon Live on News Talk, KEYS Corpus Christi, 1440 AM and 98.6 FM. Have a great day.
We have to be having flag football pretty soon.
I'm sorry?
Flag football, you're gonna have to start it.
Oh,
Did you know they're doing it for the girls at Flower Bluff now?
Are they really?
Yep.
I think I'd rather play flag football than tackle football.
Well, we're always looking for new innovative
Well, that'll be-
things. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
And
Pickleball, man.
your place to play is not as problem.
Well, you're gonna have tennis courts here pretty soon too at Commodores. You might be able to bring out a tennis team.
Yeah.
Port Aransas is big on that.
Right.
Oh, they've
No,
got
I
all-
wouldn't mind having tennis.
They've got all kinds of
They're doing what?
Now it's getting
4
better.
boards,
It
I
gets
think,
much
aren't they?
better.
My
Maybe
kid will
it's a
play
lot
football,
easier.
in Flower Bluff, so I know what that is all is, and what it isn't. There's no way.
Man, you can't.
I get requests almost every day. Man, y'all need to have football. I'm like,
Port A's
just
gone through
give
the
me
same thing.
15, 20 million.
Here we go.
There's a place I know where the warm winds blow. It's a party in the Gulf of Mexico. And when the weekend comes, your friends all cowl with a dress Dos Equis in a fireball. TGIF, TGIP, it don't make no difference. It's the same to me. You're on an island of time, and your salt and lime is safe. Thank God it's Padre. Thank God it's Padre. We're getting that GA, it's gonna open soon. I know it's true, cause we're ready in the island moon. Never have to leave, you're gonna see. Cause nothing good ever happens on TV. We'll meet on Soapback Beach to hang out with the bums. There's no need to wait until the weekend comes. You're on an island time, bring your salt and lime and say, thank God it's Padre.